Good day, everyone. I am Beverly Joy Gardelio. I am the second reporter. Our topic is all about Chapter 14 Modes of Trading Internationally. Export, Initiation, and Development. Research assesses how, when, and why companies initiate and develop exporting. Reports cover a lot of territory evaluating the influence of managerial attitudes, product features, organizational resources, firm strategy, market trends, technology tools, disruptive innovation, public policy, and so on. Sequences and increments. Incremental internationalization sees physical distance, cultural ties, and market similarities fundamentally shaping how companies approach export. Specifically, exporting follow a sequential process that leads a company to sell initially from its home market to the most geographically and psychologically proximate countries. Born goals. The second perspective derived from the international entrepreneurship literature holds that some firms initiate exporting as a born global, also known as an instant international or international new venture, rather than methodically engaging a sequence of increasingly dissimilar foreign markets. Born global step onto the world stage immediately upon their founding or so on after. The born global does not regard international markets as a refuge when sales slow in the home market. Interaction, time and place. Neither the incremental nor the born global perspective definitively represent how companies initiate and accelerate exporting. Research as well as company practice confirm that each credibly interprets the export process. For instance, recall that U.S. export traveled to 233 countries and territories. The wild card rule of serendipity. It is appealing to depict export initiation and development, whether done incrementally or immediately, as a purposeful strategy designed and delivered by proactive executives. However, research still accidental exporters who, responding to happenstance or odd circumstances, successfully enter foreign markets. Essentially, some companies start exporting because of fortu- fortuitous events rather than purposeful intent. Approaches to exporting. Granted, export sounds straightforward: make it, sell it, back it, and ship it. To some degree, this holds true for many trades. Generally, the ease of exporting reflects how a company chooses to do so. As we explained below, there are several options. Direct exporting. In this scenario, the company directly sells its product on an independent intermediary, such as an agent, distributor, or retailer outside in home country, who then sells the product to the local consumer. Direct exporting is an ambitious approach. In indirect exporting, a company can use distributors, agents, or export management companies to export its products. Alternatively, it can supply inputs to other companies for incorporation into their products that are then exported, passively filling orders from domestic buyers who then export the product. From the perspective of the sellers, these sorts of international sales are indisguisable for domestic sales. Essentially, a buyer contacts the company, submits an order, takes delivery, and export the products. Again, the company may be unaware that its product has been shipped abroad, selling to domestic buyers who represent foreign end users or customers. MNES generals contract foreign trading companies, foreign governments, and foreign distributors and retailers purchase goods for export. These buyers either need a product or see demand for it in foreign markets, so they buy in here and ship it there. Again, the company that makes the products may not know of its export. Which approach when? No one approach and intrinsically superior. At the broadest level, the company's particular ownership, location, and internalization advantages moderate its optimal approach. Considering firm size large, MNES generally serve foreign customers through their foreign affiliates, while SMEs typically export directly or indirectly. Technology's role. Technology influences the relative merits of the different approaches. The Internet makes direct exporting increasingly efficient and effective by providing immediate low-cost access that lets regular exporters, particularly born globals, more easily access more markets. In addition, e E-commerce helps companies, both big and small, overcome capital and infrastructure limitation. Mix and match. The four approaches to exporting are not mutually exclusive. A firm can engage different methods to trade different products to serve different markets. A Canadian company may export directly to similar markets such as the United States, Australia, and Britain, while using indirect methods to handle export to this similar market in Asia or Africa. Exporting. In, in the purchase of goods or service by a buyer in one country, the importer from a seller and another the exporter. Samsung shipment of a smartphone made in Seoul to a buyer in Belgium registers as an import for Belgium and export for South Korea. Service imports given there. It takes a various form. Who are importers? Our earlier classification of exporters, non-occasionals and regular, has broad analogous in the export sector. Although terminology can differ, we commonly see three types. First is input optimizers. This type uses foreign sourcing to optimize in terms of price, quality, the inputs feed into its supply chain. Essentially, a company scores the globe of optimal inputs, then direct them to its various production points that has configured worldwide. Second, and opportunistic. These importers look for products around the world that they can import and profitability sales to local citizens. They see a gap in the local marketplace where the real customer cannot find what they want or preserve. The perception that products from some countries are intrinsically superior to local substitutes. Arbitrage. Look the foreign sourcing to get the highest quality product at the lowest possible price. This motivation is timeless. An agent takes advantage of a price or quality differences between two or more markets, transacting deals that exploit the imbalance and profiting from differences. Characteristic of importers. Extensive research has investigated the characteristics of exporters. For any numbers of reasons, however, importers have received far less investigation data or indicate the importers are also likely to be exporters, and that these firms account for the bulk of the world's export and inputs. Why import? Various factors spur a firm begin importing and motivate that firm's ongoing activity. Research emphasizes high product quality, satisfactory order processing, reliable deliver, lower price, and domestic short shortage. These factors singly and collectively push importers to scan world markets in search of lower price, better quality, or local and available products. Specialization of labor. Managers commonly divide a production process into a sequence of stage and assign workers to particular stage so that one worker does one task, another does another task, and so on. This specific specialization of labor enables the organization of production to exploit location, economies, especially different wage rates and factor costs across countries. Global rivalry. Industries with a high degree of global competitive rivalry, such as we see in telecommunication, automobiles, and business service, impose relentless cost pressures. Many products, such as aircraft or cars, rely on thousands of parts produced in factories around the world. Companies use foreign supply in order to lower input costs of boost the quality of finished products. Local and availability. Companies import products they cannot obtain locally or geographic, regulatory, or development reasons. Canada imports bananas from tropical climates because of its unsuitable climate. Absent import, Canada would not enjoy fresh bananas. Diversification. Importers like exporters diversity of operating risk by tapping international market. Developing alternative supplies make a company less vulnerable to the dictates of a local supplier. For example, customers of US steelmakers such as automobiles companies have diversified their purchase to include European, Indian, and South Korean suppliers. Importing and exporting prob- problems problems and pitfalls. Companies, both big and small, identify problems and pitfalls that complicate international trade. Moreover, trade vegetarians explain that exporting and importing are fraught with ongoing complexities and evolving barriers. Financial risks. Financial constraints are arguably the greatest impediment to international traders. In a survey of 978 MMEs that asked their perception of trade barriers, the top ranked factor was the shortage of working capital of finance export. Customer management. Historically, export and imports were arms length ship it and forget transactions. Contact with customers relied on documents, either fixed or posted overnight. This situation created useful time logs with which to deal with questions and complaints. International business expertise. International traders note the difficulties of understanding foreign business practices. Ordinary as well as idiosyncratic problems include limited knowledge of foreign competitors and familiarity with local customers' regulations are certainly about the prevailing price to quality standards, difficulty optimizing transportation and insurance option, and confusion about market channels and consumer behavior. Top management commitment. Management characteristics, especially senior executive international outlook and race orientation, influence import activity. Most companies, particularly SMEs, focus on domestic rather than foreign market. Government regulations, export and import efficiencies persist due to delays, documents, and administrative fees. The rules and regulations governing trade, notwithstanding the success of the WTO, endure. Trade documentation. A battery of documents regulates international trade. Duty rates, custom clearance, and entry process through overlapping and variability differ across countries. Tariff, cla- clar- tariff classifications, value declarations, and duty management spawn confusion and both goes. That's all. Thank you and God bless.